nightfall, a string of murders in New Orleans has been uncovered. These aren't your typical acts of violence. The victims bear an unknown supernatural mark. When the city's protector, Marie Laveau, is found murdered, a collective team of reformed sinners with supernatural powers, led by the immortal Jean Lafitte, are called in to solve the case. As they delve deeper into Marie's death, they begin to suspect the rise of the Black Queen, an entity that has been asleep for centuries. Now awakened, her evil threatens to free the ancient gods of chaos and cover the world in a cloak of darkness.
I smell human.
As her minions crawl out of the shadows and threaten to unleash horror upon the city, only Jean Lafitte and his team of hunters stand between the darkness and the total destruction of the city. All help now rests in a team simply known as God's Hand.
Hey, thank you for having me on, Sam.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're gonna. Oh, what's up, everybody?
Apparently. Yes, sir. At the core of it, it's a supernatural thriller. It's basically about Jean Lafitte, who was a real pirate in New Orleans. So I take this character and I make him immortal, and I make him a part of this department, which is the Occult Protection Department. And basically, they hunt down the monsters that live amongst people, or they protect people from these things. There's a truce between humans and monsters, and basically, they're not to feed on people and harass them or anything like that. But when they do, they send in these special units to go in and either hunt them down, solve the crimes, and whatnot. So New Orleans, being a supernatural hotspot, has its own division, which is the NOPD, the New Orleans Occult Protection Department. And basically, Jean Lafitte is a part of it. One of his longtime partners is Marie Laveau, Queen of the Voodoo. And the story picks up about 15 years after Katrina. It's to today's date, but he has been exiled from New Orleans since the Katrina, or they call it the Katrina incident. And he has a team of misfit hunters that he's with, and the story picks up, and he basically gets a call that Marie Laveau has been murdered, and her soul has been stolen, and which is big time taboo. And so he's called in with his team, and he's given 48 hours to solve the case. In the meantime, while he's doing this, he's not very well received because of the Katrina incident. There was a lot of people who died during it. And so he's got a bounty on his head. He's dodging bounty hunters, and all the while trying to figure out, well, what happened. And he, like I said, he's got a short window. And it just kind of leads him back into the same incident to which he got him exiled. And it's all reconnected back to that. And it's reconnected back to this hospital called Lindsay Boggs, which is a real hospital in New Orleans. And it's a hospital that's actually still there today. And it's in the same condition that it was in directly after Katrina. It's never been touched. It's never been fooled with anything. So I try to tie in things that are actually in the city. And because that was initially the challenge of the story, was how could I take New Orleans legends and New Orleans stuff and make a story that was compelling, engaging, fun, and at the same time still all with New Orleans stuff. Yes, exactly. I basically took him from took the last encounter that they had on the books with him is essentially they were going to hit this Spanish ship, and they misjudged the ship. The ship actually was an attack ship. It winds up at whatever the interaction is, Jean Lafitte doesn't survive. And so in my story, what happens is that once he gets on the ship, he's hunting something down, and he wants kind of cornered with this thing, which is called the waters of life. And so he kind of desperately he drinks it because, there's rumors of it that it comes from the fountain of youth and all this kind of stuff like this. And so he drinks it because he's cornered, and it winds up making him immortal. They still, apparently kill him and put him in and dump his body into the water and shit, but he survives. And from this, he kind of winds up being recruited by this organization, the division they call it. And that's how he starts, and they send him back to New Orleans. So thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate all the help I can get on it. Yeah, there you go. That's what you want. You want the charcoal cover. That's the way to go with it. All right. There you go. That's by the artist Coon. I'm pretty sure. You say it the way I say it, so I guess that's proper.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, my guy did a good job on color. Yeah. 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 And you get metal mark with it. Yeah, you can also get the t-shirt and the add-ons. You get you get the standard cover, and you get the Indiegogo exclusive cover. Correct. Correct. All right, so for $2,000, all right, so what you get is you get hats, you get 12 by 18 metal bookmarks, you get the actual artwork from the original cover, but also what we add is that if you can make it down to New Orleans, it was supposed to be the Wizard World. I'm not going to do that this year, but even if it's next year, what we were basically going to offer, you get to come behind the table and you get to kind of enjoy the convention from the other side of the table, selling books, things like that, and just kind of see how it actually feels like being on that side. And then afterwards, we were going to go down to Jean Lafitte's blacksmith shop, which is the oldest standing bar that is still in use in the United States. We'll go down, we'll have a few drinks, and then we'd actually sit there and plot out God's Hand Part 2, over plot devices, story devices, characters. You get to develop a character and stuff like that.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so for only $2,000, you could be you. Shit.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone do that before. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know how it is. You get to that place and you got to develop these tiers, and so you're trying to figure out, well,
Sure.
what the hell am I going to do? You know what I mean? Exactly. You know what I mean? How do I do that? And make it, stand out and all this other bullshit.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
I initially planned to do a replica of one of the characters' helmets and ship it to them, but it's like, imagine how expensive that shipping would be. Now imagine someone international ordering that.
That's and that's what you run into. It's like if you got to add in enough to again. If somebody's gonna pay that, you know what I'm saying? It's like if you're gonna go in that hard for something like that, it's like, well, and you put the price tag to make sure it covers everything.
Yeah.
It's a trip, bro. Well, you don't want to necessarily go to Louisiana, right? What you really want to do is you want to go to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, Louisiana is like a state. But what I mean by that is not all parts of Louisiana are created equal to New Orleans. Let me put it to you like that. You go to North Louisiana, you might run into some old boys talk like yes, yeah. You know what I mean? They got that old country ass accent. They kind of like, if you you might get shot. But if you go to like Southeast Louisiana, go further enough south, them boys down start talking like this, then they got that broken Cajun down there, and they talk like this. They say, "Hey, how you doing? We got the crawfish and the crabs. You come down here, we do everything up real good, make a good gumbo for you and all." And they probably won't shoot you. And then you have like New Orleans, which is like this whole other country where it's Creole, Cajun, soul food, like all mixed together in one spot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a trip, man. The food is unbelievable, but it's the culture itself. We got these above ground cemeteries. It's a trip. We call them the cities of the dead. And if you go into these cemeteries, man, they're all like little tombs above ground. And it's just rows and rows and rows of that shit, man. It's a trip.
The French thing.
You say it's kind of, I guess it's French, but I think it's a Latin thing. Like if you go to like Italy and this, they have that stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's a heavy Catholic influence in New Orleans. Heavy, which is why they said like why we talk the way we talk, like in New Orleans. Like my daddy and stuff have way heavier accent. Like they talk like this, and they say, yeah, we from down there over there in the Ninth Ward, Man, God bless you, bro. And they get heavy like that. But sometimes people are like, you sound like you're from New Jersey or New York or something. And what that's from is the nuns from New York, from the Catholic Church, came down here to set up shop down here because the Archbishop and the diocese's big in New Orleans. And so they picked up kind of that Cajun, mixed it in with the Creole, and mixed it in with the Cajun, and mixed it in with all that stuff. And so you have this kind of chopped up version of all those things put together. So sometimes I get, are you from Jersey? And I'm like, no, I'm not from Jersey. Gene Lafitte. Gene Lafitte was a real pirate. He fought in the Battle of 1812, the Battle of New Orleans. Well, the War of 1812, the Battle of New Orleans. Him and Andrew Jackson. So he was like a smuggler and shit. And he basically, I mean, he had his own little shop on, like I said, on Bourbon Street. Gene Lafitte's blacksmith shop was his real shop. And then he had a hideout place called Crown Point, which is this place, Barataria Bay. And he was a pirate, dude. And so he was jacking ships and shit, U.S. ships, Canadian ships, French ships, whatever. And he kind of he broke Pierre, got popped and shit, and the war started coming. And so he cut a deal, and he said, "Look," he said, "I'll help you. You cut my brother loose and shit like that, and pardon me for whatever issues you got on the books for me." And they did, and he went, bro. And they said, and if you read about it, it's a trip because what they didn't have a lot, but they put but Gene Lafitte's his people who they were used to running the cannons on the ships, and they said these dudes, some of the better, far exceeded the military as far as being able to shoot shit. And they said they put them boys on there and they just lit them up. They lit up the English and shit, and then they wound up beating them back and shit. And it helped turn the tide of that war. And so that's how Gene Lafitte kind of made his bones as far as with the Americans and everything. And so down here in New Orleans, you have places like Gene Lafitte National Park. You got all kinds. And it's funny because my grandma lives down at Crown Point, which is right down there off of Barataria Bay and everything. So it's weird because I have to explain it sometimes. But it's, for me, it's like Gene Lafitte. I've known about Gene Lafitte since I was a little bitty boy. Same as George Washington or anything else for me. And so when I started doing the book, it was kind of cool because I was like, man, this is a trip, right? Never really thought about it before. Never really thought about using the character or anything before. Yeah. I find it cool. I did a treatment for and it's still on the books, man. I'd like to get it done. Me and my friend Marcus, my partner Marcus, did a treatment for approval to 300, and it was called Leonidas Rise King. And what we did was we went in and we were like, okay, well, what's the history on Leonidas? What's the history on all this stuff, right? So you start looking into it and shit, and it's like, well, there's no real history of Leonidas. Like, they know where he died, they know who his daddy was, they know who his brothers are, but as far as they don't really know a lot. But they know everything about his older brother and the campaigns he fought in. Because how it really went down is in the Spartan one. Because this is why I get into the history aspect. In the Spartan world, you had two kings, two bloodlines, which represented the two children of Hercules or Heracles, whatever you want to call it. And so you had these two lines. Well, Leonidas came from one of them. So Leonidas' daddy and his first wife, which is Leonidas' mama, she wasn't bearing no kids. So the elders, which were the E4s, they basically were like, you got to go take another wife. You got to have an heir, man. So this dude goes and gets another wife and has a kid with her. And this is what's crazy. No sooner as he has the kid with her, the first wife that he had has a kid. And then she had two more kids, Leonidas being the young. So the son from the second one, he's the oldest. His name was Cleomenes, and he had the rightful claim to the throne, right? So in tradition was that the firstborn to the king and shit did not go to the agoge. He didn't go into the school. I guess they didn't want him to get fucked up or whatever. So, but Leonidas did, and his other two brothers did. They had to go into the agoge, which is why later on you know why Leonidas becomes such a great king and people follow him is because he grew up with those dudes. He fought with those dudes. He was trained with those dudes. Yeah. And So what happens is you don't really know anything about Leonidas from the time he's kind of born till the time he becomes, king. But Cleomenes, you have all this history of battles he fought in. So if he fought in these battles, Leonidas was a soldier or a general in these campaigns. And so we took the whole story and we wrote it. That basically what happened was his brother took the deal with Xerxes' daddy, Darius. This shit goes back, bro. And so basically he's like, well, look, you got beef with Athens. If you come in here and burn down all of Greece, Sparta burned down too. We don't even like Athens. So I'll take the mantle of warlord of Greece. I'll fly your flag and basically further, things over all of Greece. And so that's kind of the story. We take it in that direction. And so we weave in all this history and we weave in all this stuff, because what happens is Cleomenes in history, he was basically drunk. He liked wine, but he liked uncut wine. Like they used to make their own wine. It was like 5 parts water, 1 part, fermented grapes and shit. Well, he would just drink the shit straight with like no cut on it. And so basically he got what's called wet brain. Basically he was like, kind of went cuckoo and shit. So they went and snatched him up and put him in a jail, put him in a cell and shit. He wound up, because he was political. He did some fucked up shit, but he wound up getting suicide. He wound up himself to pieces and shit in his cell. And so Leon, 2 brothers who were older than him, the first died. The second one they said was mentally kind of, not retarded, but he wasn't all that. So Leonidas inherited the throne like that. And that's how he wound up becoming the king. And then like right on the heels of that, all this bullshit went down with Thermopylae and shit. But the whole idea of taking the actual history and then weaving it into an alternate kind of story, but still holding true to some of the things that we know about history, it's fun. It's fun doing that.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Sexy voodoo priestess.
There you go, brother.
I'm sketching.
Nice.
Did Ace ever come back? Oh my god. You are? Well, I hope we aren't.
Everyone just get an hour of dead air.
Let's see if that worked. Yes, it did. It reset it to default and it didn't work. Well, thank you, Ace.
He's in the chat.
Like I saw it pop in the message. And, oh, hello. So yeah, they weren't talking to our ghosts. They were talking to me.
Sam's just been a product of our imagination this whole time.
Yep, like White said for it. I know. What was it? What was that imaginary friend thing? Nobody remembers.
No.
Okay. Like one of your stories inspired by it, but you don't know, right?
No, yeah, never.
All my ideas are original.
Hmm?
All my ideas are original. Never had any inspirations.
Never.
No. So how much voodoo is in this story?
Voodoo.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the idea is that voodoo is a type of magic. So the idea behind the story is that the backstory, which again you won't get into till probably like the third book, but the idea is that essentially what I stole from Lovecraft, this is the ancient gods of chaos. And so like these are the original, right? And so I create my own mythology. And so the mythology is that the ancient gods of chaos bore every monster that we know of. If there's a monster out there, it was born from these ancient gods of chaos. But ultimately, there's 7 bloodlines that come out of this,
Mm-hmm.
which is werewolf, vampires, just different things. But humans are one of them. And so what happens is there's this war that happens, and they basically go to war against these ancient gods of chaos. The children rebel. I borrow from Greek mythology. And so they rebel. And so they basically cast ancient gods of chaos into this alternate dimension or into this prison dimension, um, because they want their power. They want power. They want control. This chaos thing, they're not interested in that. And so then once they banish them out, then they battle each other for like another 1,000 years for who's going to have dominance until they realize like, well, we're going to kill each other and we're going to destroy everything. So they sign a truce and basically divvy up the war. So divvy up continents and things like that. And so you have lore in different areas. Like, so you have, Japanese lore, African lore, Middle Eastern lore, different monsters in different areas and stuff like that. But that it's all run from the same magic. So it's different interpretations or different incantations or different forms of, but it all comes from the dark energy from the ancient gods of chaos. So voodoo is a part of that, right? So it's just a part of the entire system, but magic in itself is basically, then that's what I consider voodoo. It's just another form of magic. I'll introduce the guy on the cover, which is a real character. Again, he's in lore, but we utilize him as just basically the king of the dead. And so again, it's magic, but none of it is necessarily this magic is used by this one because it's more proficient with that. This one's used by this because he's more proficient in that. But ultimately it'll be the individual's strength that would determine the outcome versus what type of magic they use, if you follow that.
Yeah, sure.
I always say, I know a guy, he says this and I steal it from him. He goes, well, I don't know if that hurt you, helped you, confused you, but I feel a lot better after saying all that.
Yeah, I like the setting you got. I'm always a fan of the idea of like mixing different mythologies, like just finding a good way to like merge them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different pantheons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, who's drawing the girl right now?
That'd be me. Yep.
That's Michael?
Yep.
Michael, you were on a Varian show not too long ago?
I was a while back.
Indie Vote.
Yeah.
Indie.
Yep.
Yeah. You know how I know that?
How?
Come on, you know how I know that. I'm like, Wait, is that Zach from your boy? Is that your boy Zach? Is that Richard over there drawing? I know they were messing with you the other night when you was on, and they were like, "Hey, is this Zach?" And you were like, "No, I get that a lot, but no, I'm not." Oh shit!
Good thing I checked out the reference. I was gonna give him a pirate sword.
It's weird because then you're writing something and you're going, "Okay, cool, he was a pirate and stuff," but it's like you have to make those decisions. You're like, well, how much of being a pirate does he carry into the 21st century? You know what I mean? Like, how much? You know what I mean? How much adaptability? Like, how much do you want to carry that over?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, well, how do you write it in a way where he still carries the pirate swag, but he carries, you know what I mean? Like, but he carries it in the 21st century. Like, if Jack Sparrow was alive today, what would he, if you brought him to a clothing store and brought him out and said, you can buy whatever you want, wear whatever you want. What would he be into? You know what I mean? What would he wear and shit like that? You know, and it's interesting to just kind of play with those ideas.
A bottle of rum.
Yeah, he'd have to drink first before he picked out. Michael, that don't bother you when people tell you that, huh?
Oh, no, not really.
All right.
Nah, he's not all about fifis.
Yeah.
All right. Just checking.
Yeah. Now, if you're to compare me to like Tim Doyle or Tom King, I'd be offended.
Damn. What? Dare you? What did you?
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. You'd be Ron. Was that the first one? You'd be Ron Burgundy when she's like, "Your hair looks stupid." It's like, what? What did you say to me? You say anything, just don't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw JD posted something about what King had said.
And they're trying to cancel him.
Jay or King?
Jay.
Yeah.
King is trying to cancel Jay. Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. He's doing it in a chicken shit low key way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if that's what you want to do, then just do it. If that you want to cancel a man, then cancel him. Just say straight up, I think he should be canceled. But this low key bullshit is like kind of like okay, you know.
And all anyone's got to do to avoid being canceled is just tell the people trying to cancel them to fuck off.
That's what I mean, I kind of, you know, it's just a whole fear thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really is. And it's like, and I do understand, bro. It's like, because you go, you know, I had this conversation with my daddy the other day, you know, it was like, you know, I'm 43 years old and, you know, lived a lot of stuff and done a lot of things I ain't proud of and shit, you know. It's like, but I look at some of the shit, like, you know, Sim probably understands. It's like, you know, you go with a dude in the street and you fight, right? And you win, he wins, whatever the case may be. The idea that after the fight, I would then go to his employer and tell them to try to get him fired and shit. It's like, I wouldn't, it's just so, like, what is that, bro? Like, what is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so underhanded. It's such a weak ass move, man. It's like it's like what you doing, man?
I'm going after your money, your kids, your family, everything. What?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, little brother, like you could get this man fired, and then he may not be able to feed his kids and shit. Like that's just to me. It's like I don't even think the old school mafia was like, look, bro, we'll kill you, but we don't kill kids and women. Like we don't harm your family. Shit. It's like, so here's gangsters, stone killers going, yeah, that's a bridge too far for us. Like we're not gonna do that. But you over here doing that shit. It's crazy to me, man.
Mm-hmm. Same here. Makes no sense, dude.
I think the main thing is that they're convinced that they can do no evil because their goals are so because they believe their goals are so good.
100%. I could get down with that. It's weird though. You know what I'm saying? Like to come across someone who has no ability to self-reflect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I had a guy one time, and he was a friend of mine, and he just, you know, he can get in that zone, you know. And we were like on this, was a group of us, you know, and we're on a little thread and shit. And one of the guys is a gay guy, you know. And we were like, hey, we're going to go do this thing. And the little gay dude says, hey, man, you know, he says, yay, Y-A-Y-Y-Y. And he goes, in case you're wondering, 3 Y's equals gay, G-A-Y-Y-Y, right? And so another guy who was on there who didn't know him goes, hey, bro, you need to check your privilege and watch your mouth, you know? And so look, so another dude goes, yeah, bro, that dude's gay, so we're gonna allow that, right? And so then your boy goes full tilt. He goes, I don't give a fuck if he's gay or not. I'll fuck him up, and I'll fucking break his fucking jaw and all this stuff. And everybody's like, yo, bro, what the fuck are you talking about, man? And he's like, well, fuck anybody making jokes like this and shit. So I called him up and I said, hey, man, I said, bro, I said, you know that dude's gay. I don't care. I'm like, you listening to what you're saying right now? Right? I said, so what you saying, that black people can't make jokes about blacks? What are you saying? And that, you know, I said, so what you ultimately saying is you're going to defend gay people because you can't stand gay jokes so much that you're going to beat up a gay guy for making a gay joke about his own gayness. I'm like, are you listening to what's coming out of your mouth right now? I said, bro, that's called a hate crime, brother. I'm like, I don't give a fuck who it is. That's called a hate crime, son. Like, so, but was like you saying, was sitting there and arguing with me because, again, well, no, it's wrong to make those jokes. I don't care who makes them. And it's like, who made you the arbiter of all this? Where does your moral authority come from to say these things, right? And I know the guy, so I know what he's about. And it's like, bro, you are nowhere near the moral authority to be making this kind of claim at all, bro. But it's like it's in my opinion, it's self-absorption, straight up. For you to have zero ability to self-reflect means that you're so self-absorbed that you can't reflect on actually, because self-reflection takes the idea that basically I'm going to now look at myself as a part of a whole. Like, how am I functioning out here? How am I in relation to everyone else? How am I in relation to my principles, my morals, to people, to society, to all these things? To be aware of these things, right? And my relationship to them. This is inventory. This is self-reflection. When I'm self-absorbed, I see nothing but my own viewpoint. I can't see anything.
Oh yeah.
I'm self-centered. Everything is from my viewpoint, and so I have no relation to anything. And it's this weird self-absorption shit that I think that's what it is. There's zero self-reflection, none whatsoever, man. I don't know how they get fucked up like that. I don't know, man. I don't know how you fucking get that tweaked out that you're that far off the reservation, bro.
Yeah. I was in college when all this, far left shit started happening, and it was like Invasion of Body Snatchers. One day the people be normal, next day they're like, completely mental.
It's like a zombie invasion.
Yeah.
Bruh. There's something to that. I swear to God, man.
Yeah.
I don't,
I mean, like, it's like down to the reading too,
Yeah.
It's so crazy, bro. I don't know. Like I said, part of that I like to create these weird theories and shit sometimes. Part of it I believe is definitely social media induces a slight form of dissociative order. I think that people get sucked into social media so much that there's a break from reality, and like schizos, right? So schizos is a form of dissociative disorder. So schizos like to believe that people are out to get them. They have some sort of information that they got to get to the intergalactic fucking council in order to save the universe, right? It's the same thing. It's like somehow I can spot the moral deficiencies in society, and I need to voice this in order to save the culture. It's like it's a weird form of like dissociative disorder, and you can't convince them otherwise. You can't convince them that that's not what's going on, bro. You know. So I
Yeah.
think that social media plays a part in it. I learned about gaslighting the other day. How long have y'all been knowing about gaslighting?
Oh, that's all.
Uh, I think 2014 was when I first
Yeah,
saw it come up.
right. So I was like, I mean, I heard it, right? I've heard it talked about and shit, you know. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But then the other day, I'm watching somebody break it down, and they're like, yeah, so it comes from this movie from like the 50s or something. And the movie's about this husband who gets bored with the wife, and what he does is he wants her to commit suicide, right? So what he does is he starts playing mental games with her. So at the top of their stairs is a gaslight, and he always turns it down a couple notches. And then she's like, "Is the light turned down?" And he's like, "No, everything looks fine to me." And he does little things around the house to make
Yeah,
her
moving
question
the
her own,
couch. Yeah.
yeah, to question her own sanity and shit. And so I'm like, motherfucker, bro. I'm like, this is fucking one of the fucking issues today.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker's been gaslighting motherfuckers for a long time, but there's something rampant about it now, where it is intentionally weaponized now in a very, very disturbing way, man. Very disturbing way.
So what do you think, Anthony?
What's good, brother? I gotta keep looking back because I can't, because I got my phone set in this thing while it's looking at that while I'm focusing on the page, so I gotta pop back every now and then and take a look. Looks good, bro. I might steal that cape idea on the dude in the back. Like,
Go
yeah, you
right
know what,
ahead.
a cape would be nice.
Thought it'd make him look more sinister just a little bit. And, holding
Right.
his cane.
I got another theory, because I
Mm.
got all these theories that I want to talk about. Let me ask you a question, and this one can get. Well, I guess not. We all friends. So one of my theories is that people are highly susceptible to gaslight, or highly susceptible to ideas from like postmodernism and things like that. Um, if they don't have any type of, and we'll have to define this each one of us, but when they don't have any type of spiritual anchorage in their life, right? And I
Mm.
don't mean religion, right?
Mm-hmm. I
If
get
you
what you
have
mean.
religion, that's awesome. But a guy once told me, and this is how I get down with it. He says that um, religion is for people who are afraid to go to hell, and spirituality is for people who have been to hell and don't want to go back. And for me, that fits perfectly. And so when you I find that when you have a spiritual compass, again, for me, it's this idea that there is something greater than myself, whether that's the universe, the stardust, the Mother Earth, Father Sky, Jesus, Muhammad. I don't think this doesn't matter, right? But that there is a world bigger to which I am a part of, um, and that I'm looking for synchronicity. I'm looking to synchronize with this, right? So I'm looking for harmony and
Mm-hmm.
peace. And so those things which nurture that, behaviors, ideas, philosophies, whatever, that nurture harmony and peace, is what I'm attracted to. And so what I notice though is when you get into this vitriol and stuff like this, and you get into, well, what kind of ideology are you talking about? It's all power. It's power structure. It's all about control. None of it has to do with harmony. It all has to do with control, which is this idea that if this fear thing, which if I control this, if I have this, if this is just under my thumb, then I'll be secure and then I'll be okay, right? And it's this idea that blows past that. All this stuff that you're dependent upon, the money, the women, the jobs, the culture, whatever the case may be, that shit can be taken out in a moment's notice by, I don't know, an earthquake, a nuclear bomb, or I mean, it can be wiped out. So you're dependent upon something which is corruptible, which can be degraded, can be taken away. And so all it does is just create more fear, which creates this thirst or this obsession. So no matter what you get, no matter how much you attain, it's never enough. You need more, because the moment you get it, it's like, great, but I need more, and I need more, and I need more. So it becomes like a cancer, or just this voracious appetite that you can't ever appease. And that's what I see when I look at some of these people and some of these ideologies. It's just vicious, man. You know what I mean? And it has no soul to it at all.
True. I agree with that one. There's no soul into the books anymore. There's no morale. There's no reflection. There's no, making you think about a life lesson. Like one of the biggest thing about those type of superheroes and type of story that would do for kids is it was like smoothing that reality wall. It was giving you like a little preparation from real world, a glimpse of it, because when we were young we were a bit overprotected, and a lot of us hit that reality wall a bit hard.
I turned my kids onto the old cartoons, and I was watching. I knew GI Joe. I remembered that, but I was watching He-Man with my kids. So I was watching He-Man, and there was this episode where Tila wanted to know who her real father was, or mother, or something. It was one of those things, and I was like, oh, okay. So she finds out the sorceress is her mother and all this kind of stuff like that. But then, like, at the end, He-Man comes out and he's like, Tila wanted to find out who her real mother and father was. And then she realized that Man-at-Arms had been her father the whole time. Like, it was this whole thing, like, no, it wasn't her real father, but he had been there and been a fatherly figure her whole life. And that sometimes the things we look for right in front, it's like these ways you're thinking, God damn, this is good shit. But like,
Yep.
I need to hear this today as a grown man. Holy shit,
Yeah.
bro, And you realize, like, that's the difference. Like, those cartoons were trying to at least give you some moral compass and say, hey, listen, these are greater lessons, like, pay attention to this stuff, which I don't think that's the case anymore.
Yep, I agree. That's why I was interested in your project when I first saw it. Kind of has
My projects are usually about redemption. There's redemption arcs and all my stuff. Again, Jean Lafitte, he's a pirate, right? He did pirate things. He did pirate shit. So he's just, there's things to which he has to atone for, but that's why he kind of is the way he is today, because he understands his sins. He understands his past, and part of his amends process, or part of his penance, is to try to be a better man and do good for the world, But that even sometimes doing that, you can't always escape your past. Sometimes you have to deal with it, and it isn't always pretty. It doesn't always turn out the way we want,
Nope.
But we don't shirk that responsibility,
No, because the more you ignore it, the worse it gets.
Correct, because those demons follow us. Doesn't matter where you go, how far you run, where you hide. They there waiting for you.
Mm-hmm. So he's technically a magic cop, right?
Pretty much. I mean, I was like, I mean, pretty much. I mean, because the idea was one of the ideas that I wanted to develop, and it'll take me a minute. Is this concept that basically you have like Men in Black, right? So you have aliens, they exist, right? They're all around us and shit, right? So if they happen to break rank, right, and expose themselves, these guys come in and hit you with the little flashy thing and erase your memory and go back and forth. So in my story, what I wanted to develop is that you have what's called casters who basically cast a veil over everything, right? And so then what would happen is normal people who are going through everyday life, like say two werewolves get into it right in the middle of a ballroom or whatnot. Well, the veil shows you it's just two guys, right? And so basically one werewolf kills another one. It still looks like a guy stabbed him or shot him or something like that, right? And then, the occult protection department would come in and they would, investigate it like they would anything else. Now to the public, they look like cops, they look like regular detectives and things like that. You can't see any of that stuff. But what they also have with them is called, I call them either tailors or stitches, right? And so what this happens is that if a crime or if an act is so violent or it is the magic that is used is so powerful, it'll tear a hole in the veil. And so then these stitches or these tailors have to then come in and repair that veil. And in the process of repairing the veil, they kind of recast the spell on these individuals who saw what happened. So instead of a little device that blanks their memories, these stitches basically wipe their brain and replace it with a different memory. Right. And so this is a part of the department. This is part of what they do. Lafitte and them are more like, we call them special investigators. So basically they're you have teams that handle like, low level stuff, vampire murderers, werewolf murderers, stuff like that, kind of low level stuff. You have the regular department that handles a lot of that stuff. But when then you have higher profile stuff, Lafitte and them handle the higher profile stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of the difference. There's different, people in the department that handle different things. But Lafitte and Marie Laveau would handle like high level, threats and shit like that.
And I'm pretty much done with my little sketch.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, Red, what's up?
Hey.
What's going on, brother?
How are things?
We're doing
Good,
good.
man. Yep. Good.
Here's a little God's hand.
Oh,
Oh, we
sweet.
got Canales too?
Yes, you got
Yo.
Canales.
Wow.
Hey, what's up?
You guys got all the secti at once. Be grateful.
All the plays here.
Been a while.
Yeah, I know. Because I'm a lazy bastard. I don't check my DMs anymore. Only if I see that they come from a chick. If they're just like group DMs or some guy, I just ignore them. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to open myself a female account so you answer me faster.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's the way
just
to
make
do
a
it.
Simone account.
Yeah. Simone,
Or-
and I'll use that pic there that people did of me of that face app there. Like that, you'll know it's me. But, you might answer.
I think I'm desperate enough to answer. I'm like, but this is actually serious. Who cares? Fuck. Nobody's perfect.
That was funny.
That's a lot of hair, Canales. You sure you're ready to make that kind of commitment?
Yep.
You think that's a lot of hair? You should see some of my girlfriends, man.
It's funny because I believe you.
Yeah.
You should.
We've seen European
have it.
women.
Yeah, I mean, haven't you heard about the legend of Basque Passandes? Like the giants that used to populate the American continent before the Europeans and even the Indians got there. Like they're supposed to be like gigantic, hairy, primitive women. Well, that's how chicks look here. Do I
Shit,
have
man.
I don't have an icon. Let me. There I am.
You are.
We have to crowdfund Canales a trip to the Bunny Ranch or something.
Now you just
The
you just
bunny
have to
ranch?
cross me at.
What's a bunny ranch? Is it what I think
I
it
think I
is?
can
Sexy
imagine.
little, yeah.
It's out. Yeah, it's out in Vegas.
You
You just
used to
have to
be owned by
crowdfund
a
me
guy
to the
called
US.
Hugh and Efner.
What, sorry?
So is it the one that used to be owned by a guy Hugh and Efner?
Hugh Hefner.
Oh, Hugh Hefner. Yeah, Hugh Hefner. Huge Hefner.
Huge heck.
I believe that one's
Huge
owned by
Hefner, folks.
some rough and
My
tumble
fellow
fat dude, I
Americans.
think.
Yeah,
They
I
used to
think.
have a
And
reality show.
well, he died, didn't
I
he?
thought he died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was
yeah.
running for office. He was running for. Didn't he win us? She
Dude,
win, and they had to like.
I think he had 4 wives when he died or something.
Yeah, so he must have really been Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
He had a lot of money. One of the other.
A lot of money and a lot of ass.
Yes.
Well, one thing's usually led to the other.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah.
so.
I'm sure he died a happy man.
Yeah, but if you do them in the wrong order, you get the women, but then you lose all the money. So.
But somehow he managed to keep both for a long time.
Yeah, because they didn't marry any of them. I don't think.
And
True.
he's lucky. He passed away before all this shit really started being bad. Because I remember that before he passed, Playboy was starting to get hit. You know, he would have probably ended up broke at this time.
It's crazy.
How could you
Yeah,
imagine? How could you imagine the SJWs with fucking Playboy? Like it
Yeah,
used
but
to-
you know what's funny about that though, man? Y'all don't find that weird, man. Like if you look at shit, like
Mhm.
that shit's wide open, bro. It's like
Yep.
you got plenty of shit to go attack, dude.
Yep.
You really do, and it's like, but you're not. You're picking low hanging fruit because you're not hitting everything, and you're not hitting the shit. It's like if you're saying this goes, but I mean, at the end of the day, it goes back to this. It's like what you know. If you're dealing with it, what you know is that first of all, what they do is principles. They don't understand the concept of principle, right? It's
Mhm.
basically feelings. Well, if you're running off of feelings, you don't know anything about principles. Principles, whichever principle you have holds true, no matter what the details around you say. Doesn't matter if you're here, you're there, whatever. The principle holds true. But if you're going off of feelings, then principles mean nothing because it's all subjective bullshit. Everything's subjective. You know what I mean? It's all
Yep.
subjective bullshit. So there is no principles when it comes to that shit, dude. You know what I mean? But that it makes me wonder about that shit because it's like you're attacking this, but you're not attacking that. You're going after this, you're not going after that. You know, I don't. You know, and
Right.
so again, I think it's just all bullshit, unprincipled, power seeking shit, bro. You know what I mean? If it doesn't offer them any real power or position
I
or
have a
authority.
theory about it. I mean, my
I
theory
love
is
your
that,
theories.
well, you're gonna hear mine. You whether like it or not.
Beautiful. I love it.
I know. I have this theory. You know, it's like a cult. They take advantage of like mentally ill people and perverts and drug addicts and whatnot. And you know, yeah, like one of my many theories that most of them don't really care about minorities or women.
No.
They're just, they just pretend to do so because they're actually psychopaths, and they like to hurt people. Like, like Tim Doyle. Tim Doyle would be a fucking serial killer if it wasn't for Twitter. He would be out there like raping and murdering prostitutes. But with Twitter, he can abuse and hurt people without actually having to move his fat ass from his house or the atelier or whatever it is he works on.
Yeah.
I think there's some truth to what you're saying for sure. I don't, like I said, I know, unfortunately, I know a lot of drug addicts and shit. Like most of them are like, yo, man, fuck all this bullshit. Like, motherfuckers like, I want to get my fix. Fuck these motherfuckers out here. We were saying earlier before you popped on that we think that spiritual compass may play a part into it. That if an individual has some type of spiritual compass, an idea of being a part of something greater than themselves, right? Being a part of the universe or whatever the case may be, that he strives for synchronicity with this. So he strives for harmony, right? Peace. But if you don't have that, right? If you don't have the knowledge of the universe, so you say there is nothing, it's just me. So now I come from a world of basic scarcity. Everything is scarce, right? I have to hurry up, get, take all I can as fast as I can before someone else gets it, right? And it lends itself to that kind of cancel culture, power structure, all that kind of, because it creates an appetite or a fear, which is basically an appetite, and it's insatiable. It's an obsession. It can never be, no matter how many people they cancel, no matter how much power they have, it's never enough. And so it's just,
because they only think they're going to be happy once they make justice, quotation
Correct.
marks, but the problem is them. The problem isn't other people. They just don't want to admit that.
We talked about that too, about there's no ability to self-reflect. Like there's no ability to go, possibly you're wrong. Like the idea that you have an individual that can't say to themselves,
empathy doesn't exist anymore.
But that's what I'm saying, because and again, that's my theory on that is that because you're dealing with self-absorption. If you're self-absorbed and you're the only thing, how can you empathize with anything? You can't see anything else because you lack the ability to connect to anything else. So you're so self-absorbed, you're so inward, right, that you've severed connection to everything around you. And you have no ability to connect and go, see this thing over here? You're burning that. What are you doing? And then you like pull back and you go, wow, yeah, look at that. Because that could be my mother, and that could be my father, that could be my brother, or that could be this, or that could be something connected to me. Wow, that would be terrible if that happened to me. It's like, that just doesn't exist. Like, that's just cut off. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's fucking bizarre. But that I do believe it has something to do with no spiritual anchorage, which if there's no spiritual anchorage, then you come from a place of scarcity. And it's just self-absorption, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, it's basically like have a huge spiritual void that they try to fill up with inconsequential bullshit.
And like we were saying, it doesn't have to be about religion, but spirituality is something else.
Correct. Yeah. No, religion can be a vehicle for it, but again, it's. It's not it doesn't have
it's not
a domain on it. No, because something can be religious and not be spiritual, and something can be spiritual and it doesn't have to be religious.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are
they're not exclusive terms, is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are basically in an atheist materialistic cult. I mean, their fervor is weird, almost religious.
It's fucking weird. It's just fucking weird, man. I listened to this guy. What was his name? Was it Stephen Hicks, maybe? He did this breakdown on postmodernism, bro. This shit's like, I had to be drawn for a while to listen to this shit because it was like fucking 2 fucking tapes that were like an hour and a half each one. And dude's really smart, man. But his breakdown of postmodernism is fucking. If you really want to get an idea of what you're dealing with SJWs, listen to that shit. His breakdown of it is I can't do it any justice because the dude's he's way smarter than me. And but this idea of running, this idea of subjectivism, that everything is subjective and there is no such thing as objective truth. And it's just this weird place where it's like, then nothing matters. Like if everything's subjective, then nothing matters. There's nothing. So you can do anything then. You can go and fucking do the most horrific fucking thing, because if you're just like subjectively like, well, what I believe in is moral and right, then this person over here is wrong. Not just that he's wrong in his beliefs, but they're a wrong person, and this type of person needs to be eliminated. And then they're able to do anything: burn you, kill your family, whatever the case may be, ruin your business. It doesn't matter, because again. I don't know who it was said earlier. It's like because they believe they're doing right. They believe this is the moral path, and they've convinced themselves of this shit. So harming you and getting rid of you, you're a Nazi anyways. You're the worst person, the worst type of person, not worst idea person. So we can just do whatever we want to this motherfucker, man.
Yeah, and it's funny because Nazis weren't even the worst people in history. argue that communists were much worse.
Way
Oh,
worse,
yes.
bro.
Yeah.
Way worse.
I mean, communists did what the Nazis did, which was of course objectively bad. They did it every morning before breakfast.
Yo, Sam, I finished. I gotta take off too. But
Oh, let me check.
Looks good. Thank you, brother.
Nice.
we'll go to
Sweet.
Barrington Maddie. There you go, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. It was fun. Hail Lola. She backed the Lost Pages yesterday. Thank you for
Yep. And Prodigy just backed the God's End.
that. Yes.
Awesome, man.
Nice.
Back all this
Thank
stuff, guys. Peace, everybody. I'll see you later.
Later, buddy.
Peace
Yeah,
out.
All right. Later, man.
See.
So looking good, Beacon.
Thanks.
With your seven Legion trading card and bookmark.
Yep. I tried putting it, with the title art up, but my camera's reversed to it. Yeah. Doesn't quite look right. But yeah.
And how far ahead are you in on the book now? You're doing which page?
You talking to me, Sam?
Yes, I am.
I wasn't sure, man. Like I said, I have to keep looking back at the camera to see if you're talking to me, if you're talking to somebody else.
I'm talking to you.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. You're talking to me. Gotcha, bro.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, this page 48, of the story. let me ask you a question, man, because this is the first, I've done a book, a kind of a regular sized book. I did a 28 page for Count Carlos, but it was part of a 4-issue series. And then I worked on other books that were part of series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of learned how to pace and write and whatnot off of that. And the 50-page format, god damn, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, I had to add pages to the book because I can't squeeze it in to the 50 pages. I'm just like, right, my pacing it's like, god damn, son of a bitch. I'm like, dude, and I've cut out so many scenes, bro. I've cut out tons. I would love to redo this, at some point, and in full. You know what I mean? Because it could probably make it 12 issues, easy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Nice.
seriously, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, I like to do that because it's like, god damn, the amount of fucking shit I had to cut out of here. It's like, son of a bitch. Y'all finding issues with that too?
I hear you, dude. I started with a 64 page and ended up with a 76 page.
Exactly, huh? It's like, god damn, dude.
It's like, I want that in, and you get at the end, and like, dude, that scene that I cut. And then, Adam's like, nah, I don't. I'm like, yeah, but here's the scene. He goes, yes, it's going back in.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, there's because it's hard to do, especially if you're doing any type of team stuff, or if you're introducing characters and stuff. It's hard to say, like I had this scene where this girl, she's at the computer, she's watching the computer screen and stuff. Guy comes in to kill her and shit, and then she, basically reveals who she really is and snatches the guy up, gets the access codes, and gets out the building. And it's like, I had to cut that down to like 2 pages, and it's like, man, this really should be a 7-page run because it's like watching her disguise herself, get out of the building, fight guards and stuff, have this whole Black Widow Salt kind of moment. You get to start to develop a relationship with the character because you're like, oh, the character's like, and the character does this, that, and the other. And it's hard to give the reader those moments to spend with characters when you're pushing that story. You're trying to hit that fucking 50, man. You're like, okay, 50, 52. It's fucking, man, it's tough, dude. Because like you said, I got mine listed at 52. I'll probably come right at about 60, man. Like I just couldn't do it, bro. I was just like, motherfucker, man. And I cut a lot, bro.
That's good news. That means that you probably won't be just getting 50 page.
But there's no doubt you ain't gonna be. It's not. I was selling my letters. I'm like, guess what? We can't. I'm not. Because he got. I was like, bro, I can't make 50. And he's like, what, bro? He's like, you mean you can't make it 50 pages? Like, but you just ran out of material. I'm like, no, motherfucker, I can't squeeze it into 50 pages. I'm like, fuck, we're going to probably have to go 60, bro. You know?
So there you go. You heard it first. This might be a
Yeah.
60 page.
Real good fucking chance. Real good chance.
Dude, your art looks great. I saw that you got an inker to join you now to help you out.
Yeah,
With
man. Eric, he's on fucking he's on AnyVolt sometimes. Dreaded Dinosaur, yeah. He's
Okay.
TG's yeah, I got him, man. He's fucking dude, he's cranking, man. He is crank. Cause my colors, we were like, was going through over some stuff, and he's like, man, he's like, cause I had somebody ink my pages one time in 2004, and I was like, it was terrible, bro. And I swore I would never let anybody ink my work ever again. And so what I was doing in my earlier pages is I was just doing my pencils like tight, like it was really tight. And my colorist was like, yeah, no problem and stuff. But then he was like, look, man, he's like, I could really crank faster because I had to switch colorists because of, you know, it is what it is. But he said, look, he says, if you could have the pages ink, man, he's like, dude, I can move so much faster. So I went to Eric, man, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I think I could do it, man. And I gave him some pages, dude. He knocked them out. He did this werewolf one, dude. It was just, I killed it, man. And so I was like, perfect, dude. Cut him loose, and he's just been motoring away through it, man. You know, gonna go back through and retro do some shit. So it's really, yeah, man. It's really make it look really good.
Can't wait to get that book.
Can't wait to get it finished either, man. I'm like,
And Canales, you got Abductable launching soon. Launching soon, aren't you?
I got everything launching soon. I think the next thing it's going to be launched is going to be Johnny's Law, which I just finished, by the way. Yeah, I sent Alejandro the last page, just the last finished page. So I don't know what day is it today. It's
26 or Sunday.
Yeah, it's 27 for me because I'm from the future. But yeah, I guess the campaign will be launching in August. So I guess in 3 days, something like that.
Sweet. And you also got more lethal that's running.
Yes, that's what I'm penciling right now because I'm such an asshole that I didn't even bother finding out what today's subject is. I'm just penciling a page.
More lethal. Which would it?
That's the one by Aaron Calamari, the guy that did Cybershock.
Yeah.
So he's doing a little manga-sized comic for like $5.
Gotcha. Because I think I backed more lethal.
Well, thank you.
Now, I'm pretty sure. Were you and I? We ever on a stream together?
No, I don't think so. I think this is.
No, but Aaron was on the stream with me, you, and Chris.
Which one is Aaron?
Oh, hi.
Homeless.
How's it going?
Gotcha.
The one who sounds like Wenger but with a different accent.
Eeyore. He sounds like Eeyore a bit over when you
Who sounds like Wenger?
Only Wenger sounds like Wenger.
Wenger's got that. Yeah, Wenger's, you know when he starts talking.
He's got that accent.
He's like, yeah. He's like, hey, what's going on, guys? My man, I like Wenger, man. He's a trip.
And we got Beacon that has 7 legions right now running.
Yep. The proof copy is on its way. It should be here in the next 2 days. Hopefully sooner. That'd be cool. But yeah, we're getting close to closing out. Everything's down to just a build-a-perk tier. It's kind of based on what Samedi did for his winter campaign, where you have the base starter pack thing. It's basically just the book and the swag items like this and this, and then you add stuff on in the add-ons like a 4-pack of prints or a piece of original concept art, which will be drawn by me. So yeah, I'll be keeping it open until all the copies of the book sell out.
Cool.
And we have the ever red gaze, who has Sunsworn.
Yeah, man. Back it.
Dang.
It is the future of space fantasy adventure. Hell yeah. Get on board with it. You got some awesome artists on that project for the visual companion. Many more books to go. We're gonna have some comics coming. Got a lot of plans for the future.
Yes, sir.
That's why you sound so tired.
It's just been a day, man.
Mhm.
I know that shit, man. Let me say this, because I was gonna send it out in DMs and shit, but we all here and shit. Like, if any of y'all need artwork for trading cards or just sketches or anything like this for your campaigns, just let me know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever I can do to help. You know what
Sweet.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got 5 campaigns coming, and
Look, bro, I got you, bro. Look, I did work for I don't know if y'all ever done work for Tops or Upper Deck, like their cards and shit.
yeah,
Dude, you learn how to burn that, bro. You learn how to move quick on them cards, bro.
yeah,
It shit gets you unscared real quick when you're like, oh my, if I don't finish, I ain't getting paid. But you just like, all of a sudden that's fucking. You get quick with them cards, man.
yeah, I know. I did 186 sketch card, dude.
Did you? Who you did that for?
My campaign, I was giving it away.
Oh, you did it, yeah, bro. Dude, it's a trip, man. Dude, the best thing a dude ever told me was, he said, look, bro, he goes, you need to assembly line your shit.
Mm-hmm.
He says go through your pencils first, then do your inks, then do your colors, right? Don't be trying to do no one card at a time. It's like you'll kill yourself like that, bro. And so when I learned how to kind of do that, it was like it's just an assembly line thing. You just shoot, just run them down, bro.
So we're right now at the 1 hour and 20-minute mark. So anything you guys want to say before we close this stream?
I do, but it's inappropriate, so.
I covered the feet for you, Ace. There you go.
Yeah, no feet feather stream here. Oh, we have X Island that just jumped in. Eh?
Looks good, man. Looks good, Sim. Looks good, Mike.
Thank you.
Do you prefer Mike or Michael?
Either one.
He prefers the Mighty Beacon.
Call him MB. What's happening, Mighty B?
All right, I got that
I
one.
always think about him as you as AW Skeletor. I know that you're Michael Beacon, but it's always the first name that comes to my mind when I talk about you. Oh, you know the guy is AW Skeletor. No, Michael Beacon.
He's gonna be back.
Yeah, I just
hope so.
with getting all the campaign stuff done, I just haven't had time to do those videos lately. But yeah, I plan on
I
it.
got you.
Yeah, we've been busy in the last few weeks figuring out a new way of doing the shipping so we could reduce the Canadian and American shipping between our campaigns.
Yeah.
To instead of charging $20-25, be able to just charge $15, which would be a big difference.
Let me know. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you get on that, because I'd like to figure out how to adjust anything that can adjust that type of shit to increase consumers and increase sales or anything like fans or anything like this. Anything like that. Let me know.
But so far, that's been one of the big factors that backers have been mentioning. It's the fact of you.
Gotcha, 1,000%, dude. Totally understand that.
Especially for international, like when you have like people from outside the U.S.
Fuck yeah.
Like me, I'm outside, right? So every time I back a book, it's $25 plus $25 plus conversion
Right, brother.
plus.
It's usually double the initial price for me. I mean, if a comic book is like $25, I have to pay like $50.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
It's
no,
25 plus 25, 50.
Gotcha.
Conversion comes up to like 65 plus. You're like, okay.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. No, I get you. And if anything that'll help that out, because I agree with you, man. I think that's, if you can reduce that down in a way that's feasible to do, that, again, I'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah. One of the things I did with my campaign, I sort of stole the idea from Mike Murphy, but an international double pack. So you just since you're pretty much paying double when you back international. You know, give them 2 books for the same price they'd be paying for the book and international shipping. So I'm gonna, you know,
I got you. So it
it's-
doesn't affect the shipping, that the weight as far as that much if you're doing 2 books.
No, not that
Yeah.
much.
Got you. I
Yeah,
got
so
you.
you-
Yeah, fuck. Fuck. I'll do that. I'll do that now. I'll do that for my people. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? If it doesn't affect it that much, I don't
Yeah.
have any issue with that, man.
yeah. That's the theory I'm working on, and
Absolutely.
I'll find out. I'll find out in the next couple of weeks if it turns out to be true.
Fuck yeah.
And
Let me know, man.
the other thing that we checked into is, you know, when you have somebody you can trust, right?
You mean on the
international business account, right? You can get away with really quick international shipping to the U.S. It's priority mail. So, not like if I send a mailer to you, right, in the U.S., you'll get it around 2 months right now. 2 months, maybe 2 months and a half. Right? That's pretty much how it's been. Well, when you have a business account and you do like kind of like a box, well, it's a 1 day, 2 day delivery.
Really?
If you play express, yeah. So it's like double the price of regular shipping, but dude, you can get it there in a day or 2.
Right. See, it'd be nice to do shit where, and again, if it's possible, I don't know, but it'd be nice if you could do figure out a way, and you'd have to have good people like in Canada, like with you, Jim. You know what I mean? You have printers up there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And you'd have to chop it up and figure out, okay, well, for my Canada market, I'll print with you. You know what I'm saying? And then that way I can cut my shipping down. You know what I'm saying? And then whatever you're paying on your shipping, and that's what they're paying for. So then they're not paying this extra price and shit like that.
Yeah, but the only issue there is usually when you offer. But I know you charge an extra for the signature, but usually we give the signature like with the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Gotcha.
you need to have the book. So you print your book, and then you prepare all your orders for, like, let's just say like Canada, and you do a bulk shipment, and then it gets remailed here.
Gotcha.
So it goes faster, and then after that, you know, it's 2 shipping,
Right.
but
I got you.
it'll come up a bit, you know, less.
I agree, man, because I think market. I think you have a European market, and you have an Asian market. I think if you can get your hands on that Asian market,
Dude, the European market is huge. They love their comic books, and not just in France, in Belgium.
they're hiding that shit from us.
That's what.
That's
one of the things we've been talking about. Last time we did a stream, when we're talking nonstop, Chris keeps reminding me. One of the things that we mentioned was exactly that, is the fact that I can get books translated in French. My bro, and you know, people like you, can translate them in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And all we have to do is get somebody that can translate it in Mandarin, and we're good. We're pretty much international.
I'm telling you, dude.
And we can start by offering our book in English with a downloadable digital format in Spanish, French, and Mandarin.
Fuck yeah.
Well, we have Yancy Lin. I mean, William's wife, the one that has been targeted by Renthos lately. I'm pretty sure she can speak Mandarin.
Jaylee.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking spend too much time on it because like I said, I'm new to comic skate in a way where I like who the fuck is Renthos, man?
You know.
The fuck is I don't know all the villains and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this, man?
She was one of those blue hair SJW going after Ethan, Zach, and a whole bunch of people. Every time somebody comes up with a project, she has something to say. Or,
but where the fuck did she come? Like, she's a creator, or she just where the fuck did she come from? Like,
she came from, I think, Beacon.
A very disgusting hole in the ground, basically.
Jesus Christ! Holy shit!
She's just a gaping hole that spews shit.
The only reason why she got into writing a comic was because of what she's doing, and she's very good friends with Quesaria there.
Okay, so she is technically she's a fucking creator, maybe not of anything good, but that's how she got. Okay,
She wrote a short story for that Dead Beat shit there. that never sold.
Yeah.
I got
No,
you.
With
no one
40 people.
understands what the story is about, really.
I
Yeah.
got you.
There's a story about
got
incest, drugs,
Jesus
and
Christ.
it's for all ages.
Awesome. Yeah, that's
Why
definitely
wouldn't
there.
it be?
You go. Right, exactly. Everybody's cool with incest, right? I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You get with the fucking times, bro.
Well, shit. I mean, fucking when pedophilia is on the rise and people are fucking cool with it,
Bro,
Dude,
that
did you see
some
what
fucked
happened?
up.
Did you see
That's
what
some fucked
happened
up shit.
when
No, what happened?
there was a
No.
manifestation, right, against pedophilia, right? Against, I mean, not for, against, right? And
Mhm.
it's a fucking big group of Antifa that showed up to shut them down. They
Yeah,
wanted
it
to
was in
shut the,
Ireland, right?
and they turned around and beat the fuck out of them. Like the Proud
I,
Boy thing. Remember that moment where they came in and like, oh, we're gonna fucking beat you up, and they turned around. Oh yeah, poof.
yeah, it was a bunch of like it's in like I think it was in Ireland. Yeah, a bunch of
Yeah, I
people
think
were
it was.
protesting they were protesting some pedophile, and then Antifa showed up and like, oh, no white supremacy. It's like the crowd's like, oh, fuck these guys. It's like
They just beat the fuck out of them.
swarmed them.
That's so fucking weird, man. Like, it's
Yeah.
like it's pedofucking feel. Like that's one of those things that I get pissy about because I'm like, look, man, whatever your issue is, got you, bro. Racism, discrimination, fucking this, that, the other, whatever the case may be, got you. It's 2020, bro. Right?
Dude,
This ain't-
if you were a victim or you knew anybody from that were a victim or had to go through some abuse like that,
that's my thing. My thing is you got enough fucking child molestation, child rape, human trafficking going on around the globe that we could all say, you know what, but let's get together and let's do something about that. Because you want to talk about some real victims and shit, like these little kids, bro. They are the epitome of victim, right? They have nobody to fight. Like, why are we not railing against this?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, railing against all the nonsense bullshit over here. You know,
Well,
That's
I
something
just
everyone should agree on.
you would think
Have you-
you would think so.
You'd
Like
think.
you really
have you
fucking
guys
would.
have you guys seen how many children have disappeared during the Portland riots?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
There's a whole bunch of
It's
kids. Dude,
amazing.
the other day, okay, I was here and my phone, there was an Amber Alert, right? 7 kids disappeared.
Jesus
Jesus.
fucking Christ, dude.
One shot, like one Amber Alert.
It's fucking out there, bro. I mean, it really is. This shit's out there, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the fuck's up with that shit, bro. But that's some shit that's just like, what the fuck, man? Like you saying, like we can't get together and fucking agree on this bullshit.
Mm-hmm. It's like, that's what's supposed to be. Like, we're supposed to be able to reach a middle ground on anything, discuss shit. That's what the entire point of living as a society is supposed to be about. It's not my way or the fucking highway.
Well, I for one can't wait until I don't know, Trump or whoever begins to put those guys in concentration camps, because I don't think there's any other way to deal with them, because they're basically ideological zombies. They're basically like people from like the infected from 28 days later.
The only listen, and again, it's dangerous, bro. It's so fucking dangerous because we have fucked over the past so bad that we start to lose. This is what I think gaslighting really does: is makes you forget the past straight the fuck out, bro. It's like they make you so fucking deluded in your head you forget the past. It's like these are lessons we have to fucking keep in mind. It's like otherwise we become that, because it's like be careful what you hunt, man. Because you hunt that motherfucker, you end up becoming that motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And as much as I feel the same way sometimes, I'm like, it boggles my fucking brain. And I'm like, what are you going to do with these fucking people, man? You know what I mean? Like, and of course, my first dark thought is, we'll just take them the fuck out and just fucking put them in the field, bro, and just put them out their fucking misery, dude. But then I'm like, yeah, bro, that's how shit starts, bro. That's how shit gets bad, bro.
No, I'm not even saying that. I mean, I'm just
I'm just
thinking hippie
this,
down there.
This is me. This is
yeah.
me.
Okay.
This is my own darkness. But I go into this place where I'm like, it just is going to be this thing where what and this is why I dig what Comic Gate is it's this idea that you suffer through the slings and arrows, right? And so Comicsgate has kind of battle worn itself to this place where it's like, it's not 2017 anymore. You're still throwing this racist and blah, 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 and all this bullshit, but it's like, it just doesn't stick anymore. It just doesn't hit the way it used to hit before. Because now you have all these different people from these different areas who are now getting visibility. This is what scares the fuck out of them, more than any fucking thing else. That what's happening is the visibility of this is starting to come up, and people are starting to go, oh, no, that's not what they said this is. Look, there's that guy, and look at that guy, and look at that girl, and look at him, and all these different people. How is this a hate group when you have all this stuff going on inside of it, bro? And I think what happens is more and more you have people who are coming up going, because this is what I really think. I don't know what happened. Like, my question is always like, what happened to the adults, bro? Because what happened to the adults when I was a kid, and you'd like start acting up, then motherfuckers be like, hey, bro, you need to sit the fuck down before you get your ass busted. Like, you know what I mean? And you knew, oh, I better be on my best behavior. Where were the adults to stand up and say, look, man, I understand you think this, but that's stupid. Shut the fuck up and sit down, right? When you get a little older, right, and you had some life experience and shit, we'll let you sit at the table and maybe say something. But right now, you still got Similac on your breath, and you need to be quiet. Like,
I like that.
You wonder what happened to that, and now it's like, wake up and you're like, yeah, bro, you're the adult now. And you're like, what? When did this fucking happen, motherfucker? Like, wait a minute, bro. But I think that's what it's just gonna take is, unfortunately, what I think Donald Trump winning the election will do is, more than anything, will allow us a little bit of fight in the culture war, and that's unfortunately where this motherfucker's gonna be fought at, bro. It really fucking is, because it's like you have this thing that's been going on in culture for so long, and no one's been fucking with it. No one's really been dealing with it until this motherfucker got elected, and then everybody started kind of waking up, going, "What the fuck is going on, dude? What the fuck is this shit you talking about?" And people started getting attacked, and all this shit just went haywire. And people were like, "Fuck this! It's time to start fuck it. We're gonna start fighting back on this shit." No, we're not fucking Nazis. No, we're not racist. No, and then you realize motherfuckers been gaslighting for fucking decades. And you're like, these motherfuckers, bro. You've been fucking I was getting loaded for years, right? So I wasn't paying attention. But now I'm sober, and I'm like, what in the fuck's been going on in this motherfucker, man? And so I think what is that people are just going to start fucking going, no, bro. Like, okay, fuck you. I'm a racist. Go fuck yourself. How about that?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen like celebrities begin to express their concern, like Terry Crews. You know, I was really happy to see Terry Crews speak out.
Good, bro. Yeah, that was real good, man. Ricky Gervais is doing good, bro, because he's been, he's like, look, bro, this is y'all motherfuckers, bro, tripping with this fucking shit, man. You know. So I think that's more what's gonna happen. Let me tell you something. As funny as this is, bro, I swear to God, this dude. And I never cared for him. Never fucking cared for him. It's Dennis Miller, bro. All right. So Dennis Miller, not my cup of tea, bro. Right. But then I found out, like, after the election, like, I'm listening to him, bro. He's conservative and shit, bro. And so I'm listening to him. He's actually a smart dude, knows what he's talking about. So I'm listening to him. He's on O'Reilly show, you know. And he goes, and they ask him about what's going on, and they said, well, what do you think about, the protests and right after the election? And fucking Miller goes, just let him keep talking, bro. Just let him talk. Just let him go. He goes, because what's going to happen is people are just going to realize how fucking ridiculous. They're going to realize how fucking retarded this shit is. They're going to look at these people and go, what the fuck is going on, dude? And right now what's happening is you're seeing a fucking a migration of all these liberals, not leftists, but liberals, who are like, oh, this is a bridge to Dave Rubin, Jordan Peterson, right? Guys like that who are the Weinstein brothers, right? They're straight liberals, and they're like, this is out the fucking box. Sam Harris, like all these motherfuckers, bro, they're still liberals, and they're just like, this is authoritarianism. This is way the fuck off the reservation, dude. And you're pushing all these people to middle to right leaning areas, to where it's like, yo, man, like
they're trying to provoke something really bad.
Dude, so as it moves in that direction, I think all this shit with the riots and stuff, like no, my theory is that 75% of the country pretty much is like, this is bullshit, right? 50% are just like, this is real bullshit, right? Then you got 25%. Of that 25%, 15% are just like fuck everybody, fuck the other half of the country, fuck Trump, fuck Republicans, fuck all this bullshit. Then you got about 10% that are actually fucking driving it, bro. Right? That are actually fucking intentionally driving fucking weddings. But they got the bullhorns. They got the fucking megaphones. So you hear them all the fucking time, bro. But like when I'm on the streets and I'm like interacting with people and shit like this, it's like I don't get that same vibe, man. You know, I don't get that. It's like most people are just like, yeah, it's like kind of ridiculous type shit. You know. At least I hope that's the fucking case, bro. I don't want to have to go dark, bro. I would like to stay in harmony and seeking peace and spirituality.
Dude, there's some little grayscale for fun and some little colors on. Yeah, well, cool.
Very nice.
Busting that grayscale out, huh? I didn't get to see it. Let me see it again. I didn't get to see it. That just popped up and it went off the screen, so.
It's right here.
There you go. It's like whenever you talk, it pops on my screen because I'm on my phone, so it's a little bitty when you ain't talking.
Just went and put some gray. I wanted to put some glow. I don't know.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Looks good, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For a quick sketch. I like it.
I like that Baron.
I think the sigil on the globe. It's very Helsinki.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he has that. Except that on it looks more like the Doctor Strange. You know one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a trip if you look those up. It's
I just really like the idea.
sigils, magic sigils.
I just thought it would be cool to have the sigil on the glove like Helsing instead of having it floating like Strange. But that's just me. I just thought it was cool.
Well, we had the concept is, and again, it's trying to introduce all this shit, but the concept is that what is in the waters of life, what's actually in the waters of life, and what it actually is and what it does to him, which causes immortality. But there's a reason behind it, and but that it alters his being in a way that makes him a little more aggressive, a little more vicious. And so what they did was they bound it by putting a seal on his hand, and they bound it in there, and that's how he's kind of able to not hulk out, for lack of a better term. And so it becomes the core of the name, the God's Hand, because essentially you wind up on, that's the link to all of that shit. That it's bound by this seal, which the more times that he engages with this darker side, it kind of puts a toll on the seal on his hand. So you're right on point there, Sam.
Sweet.
Great minds think alike. What can I say?
Oh, I'm telling you, we're gonna have to have a crossover when I get to my Wolf Dragon game.
I'm good with that because I think if they lend themselves, when you get into the supernatural stuff, it all lends itself.
And especially that you're linked to a historical thing that you're really passionate about, and so is mine. My mind's linked to the King Arthur and all those myths and legends.
I'm curious. I can't wait to hear that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about that because that, like I said, I dig that kind of digging in and taking that and then spinning it. You know what I mean? But keeping it to where it's like, wow, that could have actually happened. That could easily have happened in that. Man, I love doing that shit.
And technically, the pitch that I used to throw for Wolf Dragon was Wolf Dragon, the last dragon born, the last dragon born in human form, raised and trained by an immortal knight.
There you go. Fuck. Boy.
Yeah, and my Seven Legions kind of it's kind of like that same concept, only with like instead of like mythological, like instead of magic, it's got it's more sci-fi, sort of a
gotcha,
and sort of an ancient aliens approach. Only I don't believe that shit.
Yeah. We're in 20, man. Just give time.
Yeah. kind of like, yeah, so the fall of man and the fall of Lucifer are sort of combined into one event that led to humanity essentially being bombed to the Stone Age. And all of human history as we know it is what happened since that event.
Gotcha. See, I like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because like you're saying, you're taking something and because it's, like, again, it's possible. Plausibility doesn't matter, but the possibility, because it's like, well, you don't know. Because I've thought about that as well. It's like, okay, so what if the Earth is older? What if you have things that have been, because they're saying one time the land was below the water and what was under the water was above the water, and so it's like, so how do you know? How do you know how long this has been around? How do you know how old civilization is? And it's like, you don't know. So if you have a civilization like we have right now, right, and let's just say for whatever reason it gets completely annihilated, right? But you have so many people and they go in a bunker or they go into caves or whatever the case may be, and when they come out, everything is gone. It's just demolished, bro. Right? So some of the knowledge from the old world is still there, right? Those people would essentially pass that knowledge on and whatever the case may be. So you could have these stories where, okay, well, where'd the pyramids come from? Well, it's from mathematics. What would they do? Make it up? No, they passed it on from generations before. Because before this timeline, there was another timeline where they had all of these things that all got wiped out for whatever reason they did. You know what I mean? And you can spin something like that and you go, well, I mean, it's possible. Fuck, you know what I mean? It's like, I guess, why not?
I talked to a friend yesterday night about this thing called the Antikythera mechanism. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
What is it again?
It's called the Antikythera. That's the name of a Greek island.
Mm-hmm.
The Antikythera mechanism, a piece of engineering that someone, right?
Yeah. I heard of that.
Dude.
It's like a machine that no one knows what it does. They found it like underwater on the coast of some Greek island. It's apparently like several thousands of years old, but it has like Da Vinci type technology, like clockwork stuff,
cogs
like
and shit. Cogs
and no one understands how
Correct.
How it's possible that it existed back in that age,
Yeah.
No, like I said, that's what I mean. Like, you pull shit like that out, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, then you can spin those yarns, because it's like, well, here's this thing right here, and so from this we're gonna spin this tale that this is where this comes from, because nobody else knows where it comes from, but it exists. So
yeah, one of the side things kind of fun with that is like going back into ancient history and like imagining advanced civilizations that those cultures came from, like a high tech Egyptian style or like a high tech Greek style from back in those days. Yeah, sort of some interesting idea, interesting design concepts there.
Sure. Well, that's the fun stuff to me, man.
Yeah.
Taking that stuff, like you're saying, from the real world, and then going, okay, well, I'm going to spin a tale that takes this and then makes it into this world. You know,
it's one of the things that I really like about the show Gargoyles, is that here they set you up with a little mythology of their own, and then they open the universe to every mythology, everything fits in that world, and that's what I like to do, and that's what I did with Wolf Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
But it's centered around the Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur, the death of the last dragon. So we've been at it for like almost 2 hours now.
No, wow.
Right.
So go back the God's Hand, because that looks freaking sweet.
Yeah.
Go back all the Project of Canalis, more lethal. Johnny's Law coming out soon. Then there's a whole line of them, and get them all. Gotta catch them all. Canalis.
Yeah.
Get some full Canalis experience.
Go get some 7 Legions from Mr. Beacon right here.
It will be fulfilling soon.
So, when you get your dose of buying comic books, go buy a great sci-fi novel by the Red Gaze.
Hells yeah.
coming
Yes.
along with a nice visual companion. Right? And go
Yes,
sub
sir.
to Tales from the Adverse. Like
Yep.
and sub. Don't forget to share. And when we reach 500k, I'm giving away 3 sketch cards and a book. And when I reach 1k, I'm giving away a heavy metal anniversary special number 300 sketch cover, sketched by yours truly.
Awesome.
Cool.
So go give it a like. So see you all next week. Not next week, but next show. Later.
Peace out.
See